My name is Grusková. I live in Bratislava, and I am a theater and film author. I write plays and do documentary movies, more and more, and that's it. So that's me in 1984, more or less. And at that time I started to study at the Charles University in Prague. And this was something incredible for me, because I was a child of a person who was treated as an enemy of socialist state. My father was a pilot, and after 1968, when Soviet troops invaded to Czechoslovakia, he was asked if he agrees. He said no, and this was actually disaster for all our family, because he was 37 at that time and he loved his profession, and it was very difficult for him to find even some kind of job, something to do, because he was thrown out from every possible places where he could work. And so this experience was not very nice. My mother was a woman full of life, and for her it was also something strange to have at home a man who used to be a very funny, very nice looking man, full of life. And in one moment he turned to a person with very deeply depressed. And so it was quite hard. And of course for me it was not possible to study even in high school. And finally somehow I could study in Brno, which was far away from Pilsen. We lived in Pilsen at that time. And then with a help of a person who was a fighter in a Slovak national uprising, my mother had an admirer, a person who was a fighter in Slovak national uprising. And at that time, when I applied for university, this man was in ministry of something, and he could help me to go to some university, because otherwise it would not be possible at all. So with this help I could start to study in Charles University. I studied theater and film science, which was very interesting, and of course politics somehow was present there, but not that much. There were still people who were not influenced by the so-called normalization. So still it was possible to find at the university people who were full of deep knowledge. And so this time was hard, but was very interesting. And it was also very intensive. We could sit in a cinema to see 3-4 films in a day, and in the evening we went to theater to see a theater production. So it was very productive period for me. Complete mixture of values. You can find very deep things, very deep people, very close to superficial ones, and this chaos in values is, I think, very symptomatical for nowadays. But also freedom. Freedom is very important, that we can really, we are not obliged to do anything, I would say. So it is a burden, of course, but it's also something essential, which is very important for me. And also, I would say Europe. We are part of European Union, and it's not just an agenda, but it's very important that we could implement some important values, like cultural life, which otherwise I think would be neglected. And with the support of European money, we can do something. At least my last film is done with support of European Union. And I'm very thankful for this, because it means that I do not depend on local measures, on local views, so I could be more free, actually. Yes. So in 1984 I was 22 years old, and I was a child of an enemy of social Czechoslovak Socialist Republic, so I was treated like this. But on the other hand, there were quite a lot of such enemies, so we made a group and we could understand each other, and it created a kind of friendship and closeness, which supported us and gave us maybe this position, underground position, or let's say outsider position, gave us maybe some perspective what we can use now. When we are free, we can have a better understanding for people who are outsiders today. And of course, values changed a lot. When I was young, for example, one of great values we admired a lot was when someone had a big library at home with many books. It was something, and we were crazy for important books, and this was something what we can share with others. And nowadays it's not interesting anymore, so we have those, how is it in English, readers? You can e-books, and we try to get rid of books. And so this is something what changed. And another value I missed a little bit is that we had a lot of time to share with friends, to think about things, and now we really don't have time at all. So we are in a hurry. Of course, it's our problem, and it's our time management. But sometimes I really have a desire to go back for a while and enjoy this this sea of time, this plenty of time. So in 1984, the society was very clearly divided into they and we. Now it's not like this. Now we are responsible. And that's something what we had to learn, our generation, because it's somehow it's a comfortable attitude to be out of the system. You don't have anything common with this, and you are not responsible. So now it's quite difficult to start to be responsible. So we try to be involved also with my husband and with my friends in public life. So we do some activities. For example, in last days or months, we tried to rescue our market, local market in our quarter. The market was in danger, so we made an initiative and we involved a lot of people in it. We did small films about it, and it seems that we really saved the market, so it could stay where it is. So it's our small victory, and I think this is the main problem of our society, that people do not feel responsible. Many people do not go for elections. They do not feel their civic rights. And this is something what we have to improve in Slovakia. It's very, very important. Many people in 80s, before the changes, liked to have a house in a village out of the city, and they try to spend their spare time there, and to make gardens there, and to make it sometimes very bizarre. Trying to realize their creative potential there. And nowadays I think it's over. There are still some people who have those village houses or some objects like this, but I think now people can realize their creative potential more effective, or maybe more for the good of the society. They do not need to escape, because this was kind of an escape before the reality. So I think now many people are close to reality. They of course they have their escapes. Some people go, for example, to shopping malls and spend their hours and hours looking into shops and buying something what they don't need. But if someone really wants, could do what he or she think is important.